don't think the public's still not aware of that. They believe that he only has one child, which is Ramesses, that you see, who calls himself Prince York online. Right. And possibly a sister Hagar, who used to be, who would, work underneath my dad. And she also wrote, she helped her, well, she didn't write it, but, the sisters helped her write the book, Man from Planet Risk. Or is it Dr. York versus Computer? One of these books. Between those two books. But, there's over 100 of us, literally, scattered out throughout the world at this point. We were all raised in pretty much together at some point, some separated according to how their parents were. So let's say if your mom wasn't a part of the organization anymore, then the child would still come up on the land, visiting back and forth, we had people that would drive us back and forth from different parts of, wherever we were at. If you were in New York, if you were in Florida, if you were in Texas, it didn't matter. My father had stores all over the place, so he had people driving his kids back and forth on the land.
So, again, just as a soundbite, I'm talking to Sister Uma York, who's a daughter of Dr. York, who have a unique experience with Brother Polight, and Brother Polight actually speaks to this experience of all things on DJ Vlad. On DJ Vlad, and we'll get into that in a minute. But I just want to try to get some background so I can use for my research. I just want to do that so I can use for my research. So from a social media perspective. Now,
are we streaming live?
No.
Okay. I was just curious.
It's in a private little cloud right now. It's in a private cloud. But what I was going to say is, I
would rather have told you than to tell the white reporter that keeps harassing me.
No, sis. What we'll do is I'll look at this, and then I'll come back and I'll ask you. I'll send you a copy of this, and then I'll ask you if you want to go live on Moorish World TV, because that's a brutal audience sometimes. You know what I mean?
Trust me, I've been dealing with brutality my entire life with these organizations and these people. I've been getting harassed my entire life practically. So trust me, I feel
So my thing is, I mean, for the most part, on Moorish World TV, we do have a respectable group that is supporters of what we're doing, trying to put out these crazies into the public so people don't get caught up into this in the future. But also, because it's not controlled like in the cloud that I'm in now, anybody can join in. You know what I mean? And they can be real antagonizing, real disrespectful. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And so, but if you wanted to do it in the future, I would be gladly to interview you on Moorish World TV. But I would say just be prepared for some antagonists. Majority of those subscribers, over 20,000 subscribers, I will say the mass majority are respectful. The mass majority are, very cordial and very interested in your story and sensitive to stories such as yours. But you still have those people that can just come in and be antagonists, or they could feel as you have the few that are come in that is pro your father and may feel you attacking your dad, just telling your story, and would feel as though they want to get antagonistic towards you. But the moderators will definitely chop their skull off in that chat.
Well, it's very interesting that you say that, because none of those people are pro for my father. None of them at all. And something I sat back and realized myself as his child. These people, they claim to say they support him, and these the same people that come to me or come to my brother and will question us, like, oh, so do you think he did it? So it's like, why are you following this organization if you have, doubts? So it says a lot about them. And to be honest with you, most of the people that are a part of that organization just looks at it as a financial stability for them and a way to feed their egos. So, they know how I feel about them. They all know how I feel about them.
And
I have nothing to hide.
Now, are you so at this stage of your life, and I'm gonna go jump forward and back. At this stage of your life, do you still do you subscribe to any religion at any time? Because I have something in my song. I say you can say what you want about Dr. York, but he gave us different variations of the same thought. Because I followed from the Ansar law. What I mean, I'm aware of from the Ansar law all the way up into the New Wahabian, and everything in between. What spiritual system, if you will, do you subscribe to today?
Well, I'm an initiated Mambo, within the voodoo system, and I'm also in Ifa as well. So I believe in the African traditional system.
What I was going to say, did your father teach anything consistent with that?
Yeah, he did among certain children.
Okay, I got it.
He shared, to be honest with you, not even just among certain children, but he even did it. He even gave classes on it to the public as well, and a lot of people, I guess, they missed it. That's why I say that a lot of these, people that's a part of the organization, that they're lost, and they missed the actual picture of what he was trying to tell these people, because it was right in front of their face, and they just missed it. I was like, how could you miss something like that? He spoke about Shango and Obatala, and he spoke about these different, spiritual systems, and they just ignored it.
If you don't mind me asking, and you can decline any question that I ask, be sure. Is your mother still a part of the spiritual systems, or any of them as taught by Dr. York?
Well, not through. I can't say. My mom, of course, she believes in the books and stuff. My mom used to be his research analyst. She used to do all the researches for him. She wrote the book Purity and Neatness, which she didn't get no credit for. But yeah, my mom has written and helped him write some of these books as well.
Right.
So she definitely subscribes to the teaching, but that doesn't mean that you idolize and worship the person.
Exactly. Does she ever talk about how, if you don't mind me asking, again, sis, if you decide like I'm not sure, I don't want to answer that, just tell me, sis, because I'm just trying to paint a picture. My mind paints pictures around stories, so I'm just trying to get a picture. How long was your mother with Dr. York?
Since she was 17 years old.
Since she was 17, and were they in for all intents and purposes like a committed relationship?
They had a spiritual relationship. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
They both shared the same tribe. It was a tribal thing that they did together. They both have shaluts on their face, which is the 3 scratch marks or the 3 cuts on their face, which is a spiritual thing. And my younger brother, Moody, or people know him as Mahmoud, he's been into the voodoo system practically his entire life. My father told him to get into it from when he was young. So, this is something that they shared together, that they were aware of, which is, the African spiritual system,
Okay, got you. When and I'm gonna go back in a second, but when your dad was accused of these and I say accused of these crimes because we know he wasn't convicted of none of these crimes.
Right, he wasn't.
Yeah, of molestation and all of that.
They charged him with racketeering and transporting minors, and they never went into the details of who these minors were that were being transported, and most of them are his children.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very familiar with that. But you do. It's a bunch of allegations out there that you have confessions from some people, and it's et cetera, et cetera. So with that being said, how have you ever talked to your mother about that, and how have she ever expressed her position on that?
My mom said, I've never seen anything.
Gotcha.
In regards to, she said, because if she did, she would have left a long time ago, because my mom did not entertain anything with anything like that, but my mother also, she didn't live on the property in Edenton, Georgia. She didn't live there.
Okay.
We lived around the corner from the mosque at one point, because one of my older sisters, gotten sick, so my mom had to take care of my sister more.
Okay, I got you. So now, what the sister that you got into conflict with? How did that start?
It started because my dad said he didn't